leaves it for the Good Morning Uganda segment of this particular day. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us and of course for being with us yet again. Now to just let you know that even when the economy is opening up, when the country is opening up fully, it's still very important that you go for your vaccination. One of the dailies this morning talks about fake cards on the market. Now vaccination is free of charge and the card costs 45,000, 60,000, 100,000, and then you don't have to pay so much for a card that you would be getting free of charge, and of course with the advantage of getting vaccinated. My name is Uganda Extrta, and joining me in studio this morning is Mr. Alan Chobe Sempewa, and he is the spokesperson of the Uganda National Roads Authority. You're welcome, Sempewa.
Thank you, Mr. Uganda.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy to have you here this morning.
Glad I'm hosted today.
I am happy that you are here with me this morning, and I know you've gone through lots of things here and there, but that's where we are. Our discussion this morning should be on the Entebbe Express Highway, which is one of the discussions now in our conversation spaces, because this, I think, is going to be the first road to be tolled or to be levied in Uganda. As we know, many people have not actually known that you can pay money to use a road, and it is in your country, and you are a taxpayer, as people talk about that. Let's get to the tolling operations over the Entebbe Express Highway. When do you begin levying?
Thank you, Mr. Jagenda. We start tolling operations or collections on the 8th of January this year.
That's the day after tomorrow?
That's the day after tomorrow, to be Saturday.
Okay.
We hope to start early in the morning, maybe by 10, to activate tolling operations. It's our first toll road, like you rightly said, but also in the region. So we've also joined the other countries elsewhere that actually have a similar arrangement of toll roads. Yes. Okay.
Is it a good thing that people are supposed to pay for a road in their country, and the suggestions or the issues here are, we picked a loan from the China Exim Bank, and we'll pay that loan as Ugandans because we pay taxes, we buy fuel, all the things. Ugandans love talking about we are taxpayers, and of course we are taxpayers. Now we got a loan and got a road for ourselves, we pay taxes, and we are supposed to pay for the road again that we're supposed to use. Why?
The Kampala-Entebbe Expressway is indeed not your ordinary road. Government of Uganda got a loan from China Exim Bank. I think the project cost is about $476 million to construct the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway.
Almost more than $1 trillion shillings.
Yes, more than $1 trillion. However, the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway has several user facilities that you have not seen elsewhere on other roads in the country. And it's also operating as our toll road, as an expressway. When you look at expressways in other countries, road users actually are supposed to pay to be able to use these roads, but also to enjoy the other benefits of the expressway. Now, on the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway, for example, we have put free ambulance services, towing services, but also look at it in terms of the time you have been spending on the Kampala-Entebbe road, the congestion, the hassle. Sometimes you even have pickpocketers interrupting you and causing all sorts of mayhem to road users. Here you have a road on high speed, but also uninterrupted, because we've actually fenced off the entire road, so you have no pedestrians interfacing with the traffic. Not even animals should be able to cross. That is why the road is actually fenced off. So now we're saying, government is saying, to be able to give you such a road, let's partner. I'm going to pay the loan, but also let's partner, because there are these other extra services that come with the use of the expressway, which we call user benefits, which you don't find on other roads. So government is saying, let's work together. By the way, government even subsidize the rates. Otherwise, if we were to pay for the loan as Ugandans, we wouldn't actually handle in terms of toll fees. So government actually subsidized to ensure that the rates are much lower for Ugandans to be able to now repay the loan, but also to cater for these maintenance services that are on the road. Because you won't have these services elsewhere on the old Kampala-Entebbe road, maybe all the other highways. You actually won't find them. So government is saying, if we're going to enjoy these benefits, let's partner. Let's work together.
The common understanding of every Ugandan is if I go to the bank and pick a loan and I have a repayment period of these months or these years, I go to the bank, get a certain loan, and I'm supposed to repay in maybe 5 years. So they keep deducting from my salary or from my other sources. I repay this loan, and after 5 years or 10 years, I get back my collateral, my land title, my anything, my salary now comes back to me because I've paid your loan, and that's what it is. How long are we supposed to pay this loan? And what happens if after 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, we've repaid the Exim Bank loan? Does that mean we get back what belongs to us, and what belongs to us is a free road?
It's a free road. And I don't want to say unfortunately or fortunately. However, the road remains as an expressway.
Okay.
The standard is the same. We're not going to detach the services that we are currently enjoying, and yet these services, like I said, government of Uganda may not have a big budget to really measure up for the maintenance services on the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway. So the little monies of maintenance money that we have are only catering for maintenance of the other roads, and you know, for the other roads we only ensure that the potholes are filled, the roads are slashed. You don't have the extra services or benefits that you have on the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway. So to match up with those services, we will continue tolling this road.
How long are we supposed to pay the Exim Bank loan?
I remember the Minister of Works and Transport recently guided and said we have about over 30 years to repay.
Okay, this road was commissioned in June 2018.
That's true.
Of course, it should have been commissioned a little earlier, about 2016, but that's okay. We finally got it commissioned in June 2018. And from 2018 till now, we talk about more than 3 years almost, that we've not been doing. Hasn't that affected the loan itself? Because we ought to have started that time and not now when we started.
I think it has not been a major or significant challenge for the government of Uganda, because there's been negotiations and arrangements to ensure that at the right time, when we're actually ready to start paying back the loan, we actually do. And the government of Uganda, I think, has met its obligation in terms of negotiations with China Exim Bank. Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the tolling business itself. We know it's starting on Saturday, 8th January 2022. What happens? We now talk about the tolling itself. So I am driving and get to Entebbe Expressway from anywhere. Then what happens?
Now, effective 8th January, road users of the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway will be required to pay to access the road and all the other services. You know, it's not just your road, but all the other services on the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway. So what we're doing right now, or the whole of this week, is we are inviting Ugandans, especially the users of the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway, to come and pick or collect cards or register for tolling cards. And these cards are free of charge, but you have to load your toll fees to be able to access the road. However, there is also an option of paying by cash. However, if you pay by cash, you will not be able to enjoy the discounts that come with paying with an electronic card. So we're encouraging Ugandans to come in numbers to pick or register for these toll cards. At registration points, you only have to present your national ID or passport. And the points are across all the toll plazas of Busega, Kajansi, and Impala. Our officers are already there. We have already started the exercise. People are picking their cards, interestingly, and others actually ready to pay. I was at the toll booth and you could find people already getting out money to pay, and we had to stop them because we are beginning effective 8th of January.
Okay. Is it going to be cash or card, as you said, or both options?
Both options.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is most effective of the options?
We're trying to market the electronic payment system, because for us it's efficient. We don't interact with cash. You know, we're also working in a COVID environment, so we're trying to really minimize use of cash and go for electronic payment. Now that is where we have discounts when you pay by card.
Okay.
Yeah, if you pay by cash, you will pay the entire amount as it was prescribed.
Okay.
But if you pay with the cash, you have a discount from 10% up to 70%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll talk about the discounts and how much we're supposed to pay. But let's talk about the electronic cards, for example, before we even get to the toll cards themselves. But I'm looking at a Visa card for myself, my ATM or anything. And do you have points of sales at the machines that I can come, give you my Visa card, swipe, and take your 5,000 or 10,000 or depending on the car that I'm driving?
Yeah, at the moment we're trying to explore as several payment mechanisms as possible.
Okay.
For now, the payment for toll fees is only available at our toll plazas.
Okay.
Those are the ones we call point of sales at our toll plazas. Just slightly before you go into the toll gates, we have toll plazas there where you go and get a card. So after getting a card, you'll be able to, when it expires, for example, if you're a weekly or monthly user, if the fees or credit expires, you actually have to go to this same sales point and reload more toll. But we're also trying to work out a mobile money arrangement and all the other flexible payment methods.
How much is the card itself?
The card is free of charge.
The card is free of charge?
Free of charge at first issuance. However, we are thinking when you lose it, you'll pay an extra, or you pay about 20,000.
Does it have an expiry?
No.
No. It's open.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fares. How much are we supposed to pay when we hit the road on a Saturday? We don't want to be caught off guard.
Now, the toll fees, I think in November, about 2 months ago, the Minister for Works and Transport announced the toll fees, and these are they depend on the different vehicle categories. We have the first class category, that is for motorcycles above 400 cc. So those ones will be paying 3,000 shillings per trip. Per trip is going. Coming back is another trip. So 3,000 going and 3,000 coming back.
Now, that's very important, Alan, before you move away from it or before you digress. You need to explain to us the motorbikes over 400 cc's. And I think, I just wish my producer here could actually find us some of these pictures of these motorbikes. I to actually tell what type of motorcycle I talk about, because we will find you fighting and haggling with Bajaj, TVS, Senke, Yuvraj, and all the others.
400cc, maybe I want to also be categorical at this point, that borders, the ones that we know that ferry passengers, the borders, yes, and tukutukus will not be permitted to use the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway.
Even when they have money?
Even if they have the money. The reason is the expressway was designed as a high-speed road, and the expressway also has no stages, you know, where you will actually stop, pick a passenger, proceed, or drop. So because of, for that reason, therefore, the law made it clear that borders will not be permitted to use the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway, because it is not safe for them, just as pedestrians are not allowed to use, because the road is a high-speed road. People driving on high speed, you will get into really safety issues. So that's why they are not permitted. And we allow, even taxis are allowed to ferry, go through, but not to drop along the road. Anyway, the road is also fenced off. So like I was saying, there are no stages.
Why would you stop anywhere? Where would you be going? Disembarking from a taxi?
Yes. So yes, that's where we stand. However, the high performance motorcycles, I normally give the example of the one we recently saw, the Right Honourable Speaker
Jacob Olanya's bike
arrive at Parliament. Yes, and so those high performance above 400 cc. So if yours is below that, 100, 125, you will not be permitted. Then we go to the small vehicles. Small vehicles, these are the normal vehicles. I don't know what car you drive, Mr. Jagenda.
I drive a Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes, yes, that is classified as a small vehicle. So that one will pay 5,000 shillings, cash, if you pay by cash. And then we have medium good vehicles. Those are of 3 axles and more. Those ones will pay 10,000 per trip. Then we have the large good vehicles. Large good vehicles, those are between 4 and 5 axles. You know, the large good vehicles. That is category 3. Yes. Then you have the last category. Also, Yes, those are the lorries, the
These
trucks.
are the trucks, the lorries, buses.
Those
no,
are
the buses, I think, are again the other. Okay.
So the last category, the last category includes the vehicles of 6 axles and more. That's the last category. Those will be paying 18,000 shillings
Per trip.
per trip.
So what does a trip mean in this case?
A trip means the going.
That's one trip.
That's one trip. Coming, that's another trip.
Okay, so if you're driving that big truck, that big lorry,
Yes.
and you're moving possibly from Entebbe and going to Busega, or you're coming from Nansana thereabout and you're going to Entebbe, driving through the toll gate at Busega to Entebbe is a trip.
Is a trip.
So coming back again through Mpala to wherever you exit is also another trip.
It's another trip.
So the trip starts when you get through the toll gate.
The toll gate.
Because there's no other way anyway.
Absolutely.
You can't branch off through.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And,
The discounts. Now, I've given you those fees as they are. Those are actually the full fees that were prescribed. And those have no discount. However, if you're using a card, we have 3 elements or categories for discounts. The first card that we are actually giving out, if you're to go for electronic card, because if you don't go for cards, you'll be paying the fees as they are in full. If you go for cards, we have 3 arrangements that we apply discounts. The first card is what we call the Upesi, is a card. Upesi is a card, or we also call it a wallet, your wallet. Now that one has
the EasyPay card.
EasyPay
Okay.
has a 10% discount. That Mr. Jagenda driving a Mercedes-Benz initially would have paid 5,000 shillings per trip.
Per trip.
But with an Easy card, Mr. Jagenda will pay 4,500. And that Easy card is given to those who are not regularly on the Kampala-Entebbe road. Those who
I am moving from Bwebaja, I'm coming to Mlago. And I decided to go through Kajansi, then up to the Northern Bypass, Kalerwe, then go. Okay.
Yes. Or you're coming from Jinja and you're dropping somebody to the airport.
To the airport.
Or you're going to the beach over the weekend. So for you, you may not regularly use it. So we encourage road users to actually get a card, because you never know when you'll actually need it, and you will enjoy the discount. Because without that OPC card, even for you, a non-regular user, you won't enjoy our discount of 10%. The other arrangement is the weekly user pass.
Okay. So all of us qualify for these cards from the motorbike that you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The high-performance motorbike, then of course these are cards.
Yes.
Very good.
All the other categories. Then we have the weekly user pass. The weekly is for frequent users of the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway. That you know that in a week you will be, you'll be using this road on a regular basis in a week. So we are saying we are giving you up to 50%. And lastly is the monthly user pass. Now that card gives you up to 70%, because for you work in Entebbe, or you live
in Entebbe,
or you're always in Entebbe.
You're in Entebbe every day.
Yes.
For the whole month.
For example, our good friends, the airport taxi, and all the others, CA staff, and all the others, companies and agencies on that road.
Okay.
Those ones enjoy up to 70%. So if you pay by card, if you're paying, for example, 5,000 shillings per trip, if you have a monthly user card with a 70% discount, you'll be paying just 1,500 per trip. Not other than 5,000. So that's why we're encouraging Ugandans to adopt the mechanism.
So what would have been 10,000 for 2 trips a day becomes 3,000.
Yes.
One way, 1.5, and another way, 1.5.
Yes.
Now, the other thing that we also need to know, okay, does the money expire on my card?
That's a very good question, Mr. Jagenda. For the UPESI card, for the non-regular users, the money does not expire. In fact, for that card, you also, much as it is registered in your name, you can also exchange it with your wife, with the children, with next of kin, and any other members of the family. The OPESI card.
And I can put on any amount of money?
Any amount. It doesn't expire.
Okay.
For the monthly, or the weekly and monthly, we have put an expiry. The cards don't expire, but the toll fees expire.
The money on it.
Yes.
It's so just like bundles that we get, internet bundles that we get from service providers.
That if you subscribe for a weekly bundle, internet bundle, and you don't use it that week, you will not be able to use it, will have expired. So these ones actually will expire within that period for which you will have subscribed or paid for. Yes, and also the cards are not interchanged. You cannot exchange them. You can't exchange your monthly
card.
The Upesi card.
You can't exchange the Upesi card.
They're all called Upesi cards.
Okay.
We gave them a local name, Upesi.
Okay.
But the easy
for Express.
the Upesi easy card, the very first card I talked about of 10%, can be exchanged. You can easily transfer it to your wife or give it to anybody, other person to use it, although it's in your name. For the monthly and weekly are actually not transferable. It is registered in your name, and it is tagged to your vehicle, to a particular vehicle. So if you're using for your Benz, have subscribed for a monthly user card, you will not be able to give it to your wife or your children or your
unless
friend.
my wife is driving my Benz.
Exactly.
Is that so?
Exactly.
Unless my wife is actually driving my
it is
Benz.
tagged to that car.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, we even write the number plate on that car. Okay. On that card.
Okay.
Yes.
So what happens when I go through do I get a receipt? Do I, or it just opens for me and I go and the money is deducted? I just need to know.
Yes.
Because there are issues of accountability. Somebody will want to say, I went through the expressway, I paid money, so but I need to.
Given the rate.
Yes, exactly.
The receipt is yours. When you get there, and the toll boom actually closes on your arrival, and they are called near field cards. So there's a gadget where you actually tap, and the gadget actually confirms that
there's money
on that card,
deducted.
And the lady actually prints a receipt, opens the boom, and you proceed. Just even before you actually come in, there are cameras that sensitive cameras that actually tell the toll collector how much that vehicle coming in should be paying. They immediately classify it for the toll operator, and automatically they print once you put your card on the machine, on that gadget, the printer gets your receipt, and you're able to go.
What about if I have two cars, Alan? I just want to know. I have a Mercedes-Benz, I have maybe a Fielder, I have another a BMW.
Yes.
And as I plan to leave in Teba this morning, one car was broken down. It has a flat tire or so, and I want to jump in another car.
Yes.
But I have a monthly Upesi card. Can I go with my monthly Upesi card in this other car, as opposed to the car that I registered?
Unfortunately, no.
No.
Unfortunately, no. But for the Upesi, you can easily get into another car.
Because then I will pay 4,500
yes.
To go through the toll gate.
Yes.
Exemptions.
Exemptions, very important. The law, which was, we didn't have a tolling law in our Roads Act, but there was an amended Roads Act. And 2019 is when it came into full implementation. The Tolling Act or laws allow for 3 categories of vehicles that will not be paying to access the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway. And that includes the convoy of the President of the Republic of Uganda.
And the Vice President.
And, by extension.
By extension.
Then it also allows emergency vehicles, and for the emergency vehicles it categorizes them into 2. Those are the ambulances and the fire brigade trucks. Those are the only exemptions. So we don't expect anybody to come and say, I am so and so, a senior officer working from so and so, I should be exempted. No.
Are you saying all these cars with CM, MS, CJ, DCJ, JHC, all these, are you saying all these are supposed to pay at the toll gate when they come?
Including stars.
There are those, with 4 stars, HD4, HD4F,
1 star, 2 star, 3 star, up to 4 star. That's the law. The law only categorizes 3 categories of vehicles. The presidential convoy, ambulances, and fire brigade trucks. So all the others actually expected to pay. In fact, we've been calling on VIPs. I think a letter has actually been written to the different MDAs, VIPs, but also their handlers to prepare way ahead and acquire these cards so that the principals are not inconvenienced when they reach the toll gates. Yeah, because like I said, each one of us will be paying. And there will be no gamba, no gu, can I proceed? You call who? Let me call Sempe when they allow me? No.
Convince us, Sempe, that when we're driving and we're coming. We have a convoy. Not a convoy. Well, it may be a convoy, but we have a lead car. We see so many lead cars, and we've seen this at Entebbe Airport, for example, where when a lead car comes for the majority of we, the Wanainchi, if we're traveling and going to the airport, we go through these rigors. We stop somewhere, you're being checked. All the people who are in your car disembark, go pass through some security checks. You go get somewhere, pay that ticket, then of course access the parking of the airport. And of course we see a minister is rushing because she's got a trip or he's got a trip. And when they're coming, they just open for them. Open for them, then they go, but we're supposed to pay 2,000 shillings, I think, to keep at the airport or so. Would this happen to a minister who is rushing for cabinet in Entebbe, or they're rushing back from Entebbe to maybe parliament? The speaker is rushing for the next session of parliament, and they have their lead car. We're thinking because this seems to be very convenient for a single Jagana who drives and I come with my Benz, pay money, then go through a simple Alan like that goes through.
Jagana has no emergencies.
Well, I may have emergencies, but I'm Jagana.
Yes, you are not a Uganda.
I am an ordinary Jagana with my own emergencies.
Yes.
But this is a speaker. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. This is the leader of opposition. You know, the LOP. There is one car ahead of them, then another car, then a backup car, then another car at the end of them. So they're coming in a convoy of about 4 or 5 cars. The leader of opposition, the deputy speaker. Are they all going to be paying?
Interestingly, Mr. Jagenda, this law was passed by Parliament. So, by extension, you know what that implies, that they have full knowledge of the law, and therefore the law will be implemented as is. Yes, and everybody will be required to pay. And that's why we're saying we're trying to now remind or send out polite notices, letters, asking the VIPs, requesting them to prepare in advance, or the administrators of fleets in those companies or MDAs to prepare their principals in advance, so that when they get there, you know, when you're actually approaching the expressway, there is actually a request, we call it a request, to go up to 20 kilometers per hour. So whichever emergency you have, you're required to slow down to 20 kilometers per hour, or else you will cause an accident. You'll even knock the toll gates, like some actually have done already. And when you actually knock, you actually pay. That is the law now. So you're required to slow down. And why you're slowing down is so that you can get through that gate, you're able to pay or clear the due and continue. And if you don't have a card, you're actually required to then prepare cash. And you pay for each vehicle, be it a patrol, lead, or whatever vehicle, and you proceed. Yes.
Okay. Are there no chances of a Jageda coming and I don't want to pay 5,000. Maybe because I even don't have the 5,000. I don't have the card, but I want to go through this toll gate, and there's this little young lady or this young man, this young boy. Can I give them a kitu kidogo, 2K, 3K, mwoyo lukumi, and they open the gate for me because they have to press somewhere for the boom truck to open for me and go. Can they do that? Won't they do that for us?
Jagenda would encourage you to use, we have an alternative, the old Kampala Entebbe Road. So first of all, before I actually go to the other, before you actually, the Kampala Expressway is not free. But if you actually think you may not be able to use the expressway because you actually don't have the money, Government of Uganda has put in place an alternative. That is the old Kampala Entebbe Road, which is actually being maintained. Because the law requires that when you have an expressway, government should put in place an alternative which is in a good condition for those who may not be able to pay. So Mr. Jagenda, I would encourage you to use the old road. However, we don't expect you to put our toll collectors in trouble. And I also highly doubt that they will accept to be put in trouble. Because there are cameras. I told you when a vehicle comes, there are these sensitive cameras which are already automated to indicate how much that vehicle should pay. And if indeed the person has paid that amount of money. Even by cash, there are cameras in this toll booth. So we don't expect them to be compromised because they're all these watching big brothers in these toll plazas. So we also don't expect Ugandans to give a kitu kidogo to be allowed to move either at a reduced toll fee or nothing at all. But also if you reach there and you say, I forgot my card, but also I don't have the money. We have made the arrangements to actually take you out of the lane and put you on the slip lane, and you actually go back. Slip lanes are those lanes you see opposite the toll booth or plazas. Those ones were designed purposely to take off such persons, and you actually go back. We don't allow you to proceed.
Oh, you have to go back?
Yes.
Because I was actually going to ask the same question.
Because you have not
Because
paid.
once you get into the expressway,
Yes.
I'm looking at myself from maybe Entebbe, once you get through the Impala Plaza, there is no chance of actually turning back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you get through the Busega one, or, well, at Kajansi, but even when you make the turn, where do you go?
There are no exits.
There are no
That's why the road was made without exits, so that you have
Yes,
an
you can't
interrupted use.
You can't say you should now turn back and go to wherever it's late. You can't
Yeah,
do that.
you can't.
So how do you do that? How do you push them back?
We have slip lanes. So definitely once you get into the toll gate,
And I forgot my card in one jacket.
got your card,
I don't have cash on me.
you have cash on you, and you let us know. We will make efforts to put you aside out of the toll lanes onto the slip lane. We have a slip lane just besides the toll gates, and that actually takes you back to where you're actually coming from. You're able to now proceed and go back. For example, when you reach, say, Kajansi toll gate, when you reach Kajansi toll gate, there's a slip lane that will take you back to Kajansi town and actually go back and use the old road because you want to proceed to Entebbe. So you get over at Kajansi, there's a slip lane that puts you in the Kajansi Trading Center, that slip lane, and then you get onto the old Entebbe Road.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Alan will take a break and return thereafter and continue with the conversation over the Entebbe Expressway, whose tolling operations know that start just a day after tomorrow. For all the users who want to use Entebbe Expressway, whether coming from Entebbe or going to Entebbe, you now need to know that the grace period of enjoying the cruise on this road gratis is actually ending tomorrow. So any day after tomorrow, you need to drive on that road with some money on you. But like Alan says, yeah, it's very important that you get a card, because that card gives you discounts from 10% to 70%, depending on how many times you use the road. We'll take a break and return shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless. It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Raising voices.
As a mother, my children depend on me to make this world a safer place for them. I'm not afraid to act when I see violence in the home and in my community. I promise to talk to my neighbors and friends about how we can nurture and protect the children.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
It's the 2021 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations. Live, free, and exclusive to your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda. It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Raising voices.
I feel happy when my mother spends time with me. I hope all mothers will like my mother. I want my mother to reach out to all mothers. She knows how important it is to be a good mother. I promise to help my mother inspire other mothers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from the break. We continue the conversation on the Kampala Entebbe Expressway, whose tolling operations, of course, began this week on Saturday. And joining me in studio this morning is Mr. Alan Chobe Sempewa, and he's a spokesperson of the Uganda National Roads Authority. Here to let us know and to tell us what we need to know as we brace ourselves for the Saturday when that road gets to be used as we pay some money to be on it or to use the services they're on. Mr. Sempewa,
yes, yes.
Where are we as Uganda in this whole thing? We got a loan from China Exim Bank. I want to know where Uganda through UNRWA is. Are we the ones collecting the money? Are we the ones doing? I just want to know where are we in the collection of the funds? And you talked about the maintenance, you talked about the services, you talked about all these things that come with the levies. Who is doing all this for us?
Government of Uganda, through the Uganda National Roads Authority, contracted a French firm. It's called Aegis. Aegis is an experienced firm with the competence and expertise in tolling operations. They've done so in other parts of Africa, but also in Europe and South Africa. So they went through the bidding process. It was an international competitive bidding process to actually undertake this assignment of tolling, actual collection, but also maintenance of the Kampala Entebbe Expressway. So they've been charged with the duty of undertaking the tolling and maintenance operations on the Kampala Entebbe Expressway. But they have also brought on board other companies to take on other specialized services. For example, security, they've taken on Pinnacle services. Maintenance, they've taken on, these are all local companies. They've taken on Abubakar Technical Services to maintain, slash the young boys and girls you see on the road, slashing and cleaning the road, washing it. But they've also brought on board, I'm told, Stanbic Bank. So it will be the protector of the monies. And others, they've taken on other agencies, local agencies, to support them in different specialized services. So the firm is actually mandated to collect and bring the revenue to government for, first of all, for repayment of the loan, but also maintenance operations of the Kampala Entebbe Expressway.
So the person who gets money from us here, it is the person now, to mean the company, is called Aegis.
Aegis.
That's what you're saying?
Aegis, yes.
So it is Aegis that gets the money and pays Exim Bank?
No,
Or
the government of Uganda.
The government of
Uganda, because the government of Uganda then should do the allocation. And like I told you now, the maintenance, Ugandans will actually be maintaining this road, because they'll be paying for repayment, but also for maintenance. That's why I was even telling you, we'll continue tolling this road to be able to meet the services or benefits of this road.
And I think this is where the conversation has been from the different one. Ain't saying, if we got a loan from Exim Bank, and now we have another expert to collect the monies from us, and I'm thinking, if I'm not a frequent user and I'm going to pay 5,000 cash, or I'm going to pay with a Wupesi, but just as a single, not as a non-frequent user,
yes.
I'm coming from Jinja, going to the airport, and I pay 4,500 shillings. I'm tending to think I'm actually giving my 4,500 shillings to a French company. And I don't know why I should be giving them my money. I'm giving it to them. And yet I picked a loan. My country, my government picked a loan somewhere. And I'm now again giving money to another person that I do not know. To enjoy from me for service that I should be getting gratis in my country.
No, I think in all this, government of Uganda through UNRWA have made communications to the effect that we are the ones supervising all activities on the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway. So we are actually responsible for every shilling that is dropped into our toll booth through tolling mechanism. So we're actually responsible. We cannot afford to take a nap on that responsibility. We supervise. The whole of this week actually we're having back and forth meetings, including today, with the toll operator to ensure that they actually do that they are mandated to do in the contract. So we are behind doing the supervision role. And when you actually get there, you will be interacting with Ugandans. All the people in the booth are Ugandans, and you will actually see them. Although the French has come in to bring in expertise, but they have already trained. For example, the toll collectors and supervisors are all Ugandans. Yeah.
How much of this money is given to them for the services, and how much comes to UNRWA?
I think that allocation, because we gave them a contract as a French firm. I need to recall the contract sum. Okay. But we contracted them for some amount of money to actually do the job, to do their job. So they are not actually going to pick from what they are collecting, no, because that one goes up to the cost of the fund.
Oh, they're not picking from what they are collecting?
No.
Okay, you give them a contract and you agreed on some amount of money.
Okay, we are paying them for that job.
Okay.
Yeah, because
and how long are they here?
They're here for 5 years.
They're here for 5 years.
Yes, and on a good performance, probably their contract will be renewed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's very important. Now, the other thing is about the maintenance itself. There are these green, I don't know what they are. I have not had an opportunity. I've driven on that road for about 3 years. I've not had an opportunity to actually touch and feel what these green things are.
Anti-glares.
Those, yes. Those, I don't know whether they're metals. I don't know whether they are. I don't know what they are actually. And why are they there, first and foremost? Are they just for decoration? Are they designs? Because I drive on this road every day, and you find them being cut out because you don't really see that cars knocked them off. No car can knock them off actually. But when you find that they've been cut off, taken, I don't know whether scrap also, what are they for, and how will we protect and keep them?
Yeah, anti-glare screens, they're actually made out of very strong, I think, a plastic concentration. It's really thick material. If you actually touched, you can't have the point of touching it because now it's a high-speed road. Yes, but the anti-glares are supposed to protect you from reflections that would come on from the other side or the other side of the road, the other lane of the road. But because we have communities across the road, some people actually, I think, out of adventure, some have actually cut them, and the others have damaged them. And we honestly, these are plastics, heavy plastics. We do not know where actually they take them, but I want to believe some are taking them for maybe adventure too. But also some were trying to actually make a way through. Yeah.
I also see people
that's why you see there at particular points, and not all of them have been vandalized as it was for the fencing. So some are actually trying to jump, so they've actually just taken them down. In fact, you can see they are cut. So they can actually cross.
They actually cut to make it. But you see, even when they're not cut, that space is just good enough for Alan and
somebody
me.
to pass.
And let's talk about the dangers of that, for example, because now there is no zebra crossing. It's a highway. There is no hump. There is no zebra crossing. There is no stage. There is no nothing. That's why you can't allow pedestrians on that road.
And there is that median installation that runs through in the middle of the road. Yes.
You cannot. But people jump. Now, that's, I think, that could be around, I think that's the Sega Plaza. That could be the Sega Plaza. But people who come, cross over from here, and again find themselves, what are there penalties for that? I don't know. Now that we have somebody in charge of the road and managing it, will there be, because it's very dangerous for high-speed drivers.
We actually hope that we have 24/7 patrols. We actually hope that this habit will come to an end, or at least will be minimized or reduced. And we've started actually seeing a change in behavior of communities are around. But we've also engaged their leadership and the different police, Kajansi, to try and actually support us. But with the current 24/7 toll patrols, we've actually seen a reduction in this habit. But also, if you do it, you're actually supposed to replace. You're actually supposed to pay for the replacement of that asset. If you also knock it, if you're driving and you knock any asset along the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway, you should actually pay. Initially, it will be government to pay, but then we noticed the government is only spending only for it to spend again. So, and that is all taxpayer money being spent. So we're saying no. If you knock any asset along this road, you will actually pay for the damages or for the repairs and replacement.
Okay.
And also we've been calling on Ugandans to really safeguard. We want to look like other countries. We look at the other countries in the movies or have gone there and admired them. I think this is a patriotic call for us to love our assets. And if indeed we do, we should preserve them. We should not vandalize them.
Okay, very important. Now, you also notice that on Entebbe Expressway, there is a portion somewhere. I don't know whether that's Kawoto or, I don't know. I actually don't know when I'm on the expressway. I do not know whether it's Stende or Kawoto or anything or Kajansi. But there's a factory. There's a Pepsi factory somewhere. And there is another, I don't know whether it's a warehouse or so, just the right opposite. And the workers of these two places are normally plying, they're normally walking on the road there, and just looks like it's risky. I don't know what that needs to be done for, because I just want to know the plans that you have for that, because there are people here, and you know, when you're driving, you ask a question and say, how did these people walk to this? Because you do not see on the expressway, you don't see any junction where they're supposed to actually branch off, but you actually sometimes see them walking even with reflector jackets for it to tell, but it is still dangerous for people who are rushing and running.
It is, and if from your feedback, if this is actually continuing, because like I said, with the patrol services we have, these people would have been identified and briefed on what to do. But I think with your feedback, we may need to do more engagement with the different establishments across the road, or the other factory and the other on the opposite side. I think I've seen a bit of apartments coming up on this side. So we may need to actually engage if that is actually happening, as you said, because it is not safe. It's not safe for them, but also the road users, because you all get into fatal scenarios.
Okay. For the services that you talked about, that we pay for, the ambulance services, the emergency services, the towing services, also, where do you find them? How do you find them? What happens? Are they everywhere on the road?
Okay. These are positioned at the different toll plazas, the different services like towing trucks, the ambulance services, our vans and vehicles. When you have an incident and you're using the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway, say in the morning, day, or even late in the night, we have a toll-free line. That is 0800 270 170.
I just know that.
Yeah, it's toll-free. 0800 270 170. Should you have an emergency that requires quick evacuation, please call that emergency line or toll-free line, and you'll be assisted. That is if before the toll, rather the patrol vehicles have not actually reached you, because they are always patrolling that road, because Ugandans complained of the insecurity scenarios on that road. So now we have regular patrol services. So if they have actually not reached you, take the initiative to immediately call, sound our people in the control room, and they will actually come to your rescue immediately and put you to a secure location.
For whatever incident that you get.
For whatever incident, be it car breakdown, fuel.
I don't have fuel.
Yes, fuel.
I'm just getting to Nambigirwa and there's no fuel. What happens?
We will come actually and tow you to the nearest petrol station, because you know we don't have.
There are no petrol stations.
Yeah, but at the beginning and at the end of the route, there are petrol stations there. So we will evacuate you to a safe location.
So you tow me to the petrol station?
Yes.
You don't go to bring the fuel for me?
I don't know. We'll tow you. We'll tow you to, if it is fuel that that is required, we'll tow you to the next. And we've actually done it. In some scenarios, we've had to drop people close to their gates if they are stuck in the middle of the night, like at 3 a.m. I mean, the vehicle will actually have to be put at the toll gate, and maybe that's where your mechanic can find it, and you know it will be safe. Then I mean, drop you home.
In 2019 December, I actually had a problem around Nambigirwa, and they took me home actually. They carried my car up somewhere where I told them put it here. Then of course they drove me up my gate.
Yes.
But that was in 2019 December, and I benefited from some services actually on that same road. Alan, just before we get to the conclusion of this, I want to know, back to the fares, you said, when you are a monthly user, you get 70% discount, that's what you said.
Yes.
And when I pay on my card, and I don't, I pay on my card and I use it for 1 to 3 days, then possibly travel, go up country to see the old parents, and don't return for the next so many days. My money is not reserved. When I come back, I start fresh.
That's true.
It's not reserved.
It's not reserved. I told you we are using. I want to use the example of internet bundles. When you subscribe for a week or monthly, beyond that period, if you actually have not fully utilized that bundle, it will expire. You won't carry it over. That is unlike for the Easy UPC card. It keeps there permanently. But for weekly and monthly, you will have subscribed for that period of time. Please ensure that you actually use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I am a frequent user, a monthly user, I work in Entebbe, or I stay in Entebbe, and I ply on the road almost every day, 25, 30 days a month. Can I buy for 6 months, for example? Say I have my money now, and let me buy. Now that I have the money, let me stretch and buy for January, February, March, April, May, June, and then maybe July. Then we'll continue from there. Is that allowed or not?
I think that's a good question, Mr. Jagenda. At the moment, we are limited up to a month.
Okay.
We never know, maybe in future we may have adjustments. But for now, we are only limited to a weekly and monthly. So you can only pay up to a month. Yes, for now.
My bundles tell me, whenever I'm using them, they keep reminding me, you have used up to 70% of your monthly GBs.
Yes.
You are left with maybe 5% of your
80%.
So it keeps me, if I don't renew, then of course it just goes off.
Yes.
How will I know that, because I may not remember that I bought my card on the 8th and it's working up to the 8th or 7th, how will I remember that I'm actually supposed to renew my monthly subscription?
I think given it's actually a weekly or monthly, and we load actually the different trips on that card, so you probably, as a user, you'll know how much you've actually used and how many, because when you're a weekly user, you're given the 14 trips. When you're monthly, you're given up to 60 trips. So you definitely are in account of how much you're using. Those trips are actually put there. That's what we give you when you actually load. We give you up to 60 trips.
So whenever I pay, or whenever I pass by and swipe my card, it tells me you're left with 23 trips?
You'll actually, on the receipt, you'll actually see that one trip has actually gone off.
Okay.
Yes, I need to cross-check if actually the balance of trips is indicated on that receipt. That one I'll actually cross-check, but it is good feedback that people are given an indication of how much they're left with. Yes.
Okay. One more we have to understand about the Entebbe Expressway before I let you go.
Okay. I think quickly is to welcome Ugandans officially to this new exercise. We are all upbeat, highly expectant of what will happen on the 8th of January. Our teams are fully mobilized. They've been having sleepless nights to try and ensure that the system is seamless, it is what we've designed it to be and work, and that the expectation we have is actually Ugandans will cooperate. Will cooperate and accept to pay. We thank those who actually were even endeavoring to pay even before we start. We hope that that is the spirit and that there is no abuse, you know, and that Ugandans do not insult our people in the toll gates. These are Ugandans like us, and they've been given a duty to undertake, and the service, and the patriotic really service to their country, and the road is going to benefit us. Because you're using, the reason you're on that road is so that you can actually benefit. So you actually have chosen to use the road. So come, let's receive you, comply, and let's cooperate. Let's cooperate as Ugandans. Let's take on this, welcome this initiative. It's the first time we're doing it. We're also trying to be at the level of the other countries that are actually doing it. It is the first step we're taking, but we're also opening up other expressways, which will also be told. We have the Kampala-Jinja Expressway, which is now under procurement. We are securing the right of way. We're already doing Busega and PG Expressway. If you've used that road, you've seen equipment either side of the road working. We have Chibuye Busega also coming, and Bombo Expressway, and several others in design. So this is the step we are taking. These will all be toll roads, and they will come with these similar benefits, or even more. So let's cooperate, let's work together, but also speed. Let's drive within the acceptable speed limits of the road. Beyond 100 kilometers, you're speeding. Sometimes you want to say you're overspeeding, but you're speeding, because speed is speed. You're speeding, and when you're approaching the toll gates, there is signage to warn you to reduce up to 20 kilometers per hour, so that you're able to go through this toll booth, pay, and proceed. So we look forward to a successful day come 8th January.
Those driving from Kajansi to Munyonyo will not pay because they don't go through the booth.
Yes, that is
coming
free.
From Chibuye and just stand and go
off at Kajansi to Munyonyo.
Kajansi, then Munyonyo.
Or from Munyonyo to Kajansi, that is free.
Or from Munyonyo to Kajansi. Those, for as long as you're not going through the toll booth,
yes,
there is no payment.
There is no payment.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sempewa,
Pleasure,
for allowing to join us on a Good Morning Uganda Extra.
My pleasure.
Morning, of course. If I talk about the Entebbe Expressway, which we know that its tolling operations commence this very weekend on Saturday, just a day after tomorrow, and here is where we are. Like you said, I'm also saying it, we are upbeat. On the 2nd of this month, I also went to the gate and paid money. Then the lady told me, no, you're supposed to pay on the 8th. And I said, oh, okay. I still have a few days to drive on this road without payments. But thank you so much for having allowed to join us here. We'll continue the conversation when we need you back here. I talk about many of these things. We will get you back. For God and my country, stay blessed. Good morning and bye for today.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes